Hi, I'm nervous, and just a short 2 weeks after the release of the new Amanda the Adventurer trailer, I want to talk about my predictions for the final chapter of this unique horror trilogy. While on the surface, Amanda the Adventurer looks like your run of the mill mascot horror game, the escape room style puzzles and winding mystery make it a standout in its genre. And honestly, the teaser trailer for Amanda the Adventurer 3 tells us a lot in its less than 30-second runtime, including where we'll be located and what we'll discover. That being said, there's still plenty to speculate on. I actually did a whole live stream covering the trailer, but I wanted to dedicate a video to my first thoughts and predictions for Amanda the Adventurer 3, just to get them organized and hear how they compare with all of yours. So let's just go through the trailer chronologically, and I'll point out things my chat and I noticed and what it might mean for the big climax and finale of Amanda's adventure. Our first visual is a sewer, and in the water floats a miraculously functional television. This suggests that we're going to start the next game right where we left off in ATA 2, which is how I'm going to shorten Amanda the Adventurer going forward. The previous installment shows us opening up a hatch to somewhere underground, so it makes sense that it would lead to a sewer. We're next presented with an office that is confirmed by the game's Steam page to be an abandoned Hamlin facility, the company who took over ATA and turned it into the demonic animated show with which we've become quite familiar. However, even without the Steam page, we can deduce this is a Hamlin office by the artwork on the wall. Though only shown briefly, it can be identified as Pied Piper by Elizabeth Adela Stanhope Forbes. Very briefly, for those who aren't yet aware, the Pied Piper takes place in the town of Hamlin and tells of how Hamlin hired the Piper to lead rats out of their town. And when they refused to pay him, he used his music to lure the children out of the town as well, and into a mountain never to be seen again. ATA is not shy about making these connections, but it does beg questions. Is this purely to help the viewer understand that children are being lured in a similar fashion? Or is the town of Kinsdale, Ohio being visited by some descendants of the Piper himself? We learn in ATA 2 that there does seem to be some cult activity in the area, and specifically one that someone in town has been tracking for decades.
The puzzles, the anagrams, they seem to connect it to the cult. And based on what we have, I'm convinced that this is the latest iteration of the one Caroline's family's been tracking for generations.
The information we already have about the group ties it back to a religion that hasn't been practiced publicly in damn near.
So we're saying that this production company has been around since the Middle Ages?
What we do know is that children in this area started disappearing around the same time Hamlin approached ATA creator Sam Colton about turning his humble public access television show into something more. And whatever demonic forces or magic is at work in the Amanda the Adventurer animated series is what's causing these disappearances. We know Hamlin is capable of summoning demons, since we've now seen 2 such creatures in the Amanda and Wooly demons. Speaking of, in the office, we hear a sort of announcement through the speakers. A notification of someone entering through the ceiling. While this could be our player character Riley entering the facility, it seems unlikely we'd be coming in through the ceiling from the sewer. What's more likely is that it's one of these demons. And if I had to guess, it would be Wooly, since he saw us escape into the hatch in what most people have accepted as the canon ending of ATA 2. It's also worth noting that there is a children's gate in front of the kitchen area in this office that can only be seen from the Steam page, suggesting that kids have been in this facility alive. What we're shown next is truly chilling. Child-sized pods that seem to have something being pumped into them. Perhaps a way to keep their victims just barely alive. It's hard to say from just this one image whether they're being kept frozen or suspended in some kind of liquid, or if there's even anyone still in this facility. Regardless, this is the first time we've been given evidence that Rebecca, the true identity of Amanda, could still be alive. We're also given a scene that seems like it could be happening just beyond the pod room in some kind of control room with lots of screens. One stating that a backup is in progress, and another with Amanda saying hi. And what's more curious, our character gasps, and it doesn't quite sound like Riley, or at least what I would imagine Riley to sound like. Riley's gender hasn't been established in the series, but there is a single instance of she/her pronouns being used to refer to Riley on the Steam page. It's completely possible that Riley is simply a non-binary or agender character and uses they/them pronouns. I mean, Riley is a gender-neutral name, after all. But it's just as likely that Mangled Mall just isn't ready to reveal their gender yet, and the she that's used in the Steam description is a mistake. But the reason I question whether or not this character is Riley is because there's a possibility that, similarly to ATA2, we have someone helping us here. Someone very important to this story that we haven't seen yet. Sam, Rebecca's father. We saw in the secret tapes from the last game that Sam was seemingly plotting a way to escape and find his adopted daughter.
Can you send someone down to the lockup for the moment?
Copy that. What's your authorization number?
543 Alpha Tango Alpha 67.
Security escort will arrive in 90 seconds. You have clearance. Stop recording.
All right, Mr. Colton.
We know he seems to have been on to Hamlin, or at the very least skeptical of the company this entire time. And we also see a whole story in ATA2 focused on a character who seems to represent Sam seeing a princess as a monster and working to slay her, only to realize too late that he was wrong. This game, according to the Steam page, is meant to bring closure to everyone in the series who has been affected by Hamlin, and I would say Sam is on that list. And I think Sam would be a likely candidate to be making a backup of the tapes to keep Amanda, aka Rebecca, alive somehow. And for what it's worth, we also hear a male voice back in the demo of ATA. And while I couldn't confirm whether or not the demos are still canon in some capacity, that person was told by Wooly to burn the tapes. And he tried, but he couldn't bring himself to do it.
You, take the tape out now and destroy them. Burn them. Whatever. Just get rid of these other tapes. Do you hear me? Hello? Yeah, hey. Yeah, no, I found it. Yeah, no, the tapes are all destroyed too. They're gone. Every single one.
He lies to someone on the phone saying he did burn them all, and the person on the phone suggests he may be being followed. Now, frankly, I don't know if I'm convinced that this is Sam, partially because he doesn't really act like a father trying to rescue his child from an animated television show demon situation, but also because he seems to be listening to Wooly, which isn't something I'm sure Sam Colton would do. Like, he would probably know that that guy is not necessarily trustworthy. But the phone call does add a layer of mystery. Was he talking to Kate, Joanne, someone at the Hamlin facility? It's possible that this character was one of the group members from the library tapes who went missing. Or they're an employee of Hamlin. Of course, it's also possible this character has been scrapped from the games entirely. While it's still possible this voice we hear in the trailer is Riley after all, I really hope it's Sam, as bringing down Hamlin once and for all by his side and giving him a chance to redeem himself after being deceived by Hamlin would be really satisfying. The trailer ends in the sewer with the voice of Joanne from ATA2 telling us to get out of here.
Riley, get out of here.
We know she was mauled by the Wooly demon at the end of the last game, so it's interesting that she's still able to communicate with us. This could be telling us that or at least one way to be transferred into the tapes is being eaten by a demon. That, or Joanne somehow survived this. Of course, it could be a secret third thing, and shortly after filming this, I found out it probably is a secret third thing, because going back and watching the Amanda the Adventurer 2 true ending, it becomes clear what we hear in the teaser trailer is actually just a cut-up version of what Joanne says to us in the end of ATA 2.
Riley, take these and get out of here. Riley, get out of here.
But the idea of being eaten would tie back to the demon Baal mentioned in the first ATA and his connections with Moloch, the child-eating demon. But you can learn all about that in my first video about Amanda the Adventurer. In my opinion, the big questions regarding the finale of ATA are, why did Hamlin target Rebecca, and can she be saved? Now again, I expound upon this more in my other video, so really watch it for the full picture, but what we know so far about Hamlin suggests they're associated with demons and are very likely occult. We also know that they became very interested in Kinsdale, the town where ATA takes place. They approach Sam and offer to help turn the public access show he does with his daughter into a full franchise. In my opinion, they then go on to use the success of the show to sponsor the new children's section of the Kinsdale Library. And considering there's a secret hatch that leads from the library to a Hamlin facility, I don't think I'm far off. But why Kinsdale? And why Sam and Rebecca's show? You can say it was popular, but only as popular as a local access TV show can be. I believe that this third game is going to reveal potentially something Sam, or one of his ancestors, or just somebody with a lot of influence in Kinsdale may have done to set off the chain of events that led to Hamlin taking Rebecca. See, as I explained earlier, the Pied Piper isn't just a story about some evil piper who came to a town and lured children into a mountain one night. The piper was first betrayed by the town. After clearing the village of rats, the town didn't want to pay the piper, and in revenge, he took their children. Now, I don't want to suggest that this band of cultists are somehow justified in their actions. They're not. But I also don't want to ignore the multiple references to the story of the Piper, which would suggest that there was betrayal somewhere. And there's even a chance that the answer lies in Rebecca's past. She's adopted, and that means her biological parents aren't yet known to us, and the circumstances of her adoption aren't known to us either.
But really? It's all Rebecca. As soon as I met my beautiful daughter, the inspiration was there. You know, she was so young when I adopted her. And despite what she's gone through, she's always seen the world with such kindness and joy.
Could her relatives be members of this cult? I have a theory that they were, but that her parents didn't want that life for their daughter, so they did a very hard thing and put her up for adoption, very likely in secret. Maybe they knew the whole time that the cult was planning on using Rebecca to summon a demon and be a vessel, and they thought they could protect her. If the cult were to find out, they would be likely to eliminate the adoptive father and claim Rebecca as their own. In fact, it's possible Sam accidentally revealed her identity and location through the public access TV show. The cult may have seen the TV show as an opportunity to gain power. Now, it would be fair to point out that this is a lot of heavy speculation, but this is just a prediction video, and I do think there is one more piece of evidence that suggests this may be the case, and it ties directly into my next question. Listen to one of the last things we hear before the end of ATA 2 from Riley's Aunt Kate.
She wasn't ever ours to lose. She was already gone. I can't let you get lost too, please.
While Kate was not a relative of Rebecca or Sam's, she was a fierce supporter of the two, and clearly a friend. It's very likely she felt a personal kinship to her, explaining why she was so obsessed with her disappearance and trying to save her. Saying she was never ours to lose, to me, could read as someone understanding that the cult was reclaiming Rebecca. And it also suggests that despite seeing those pods in the ATA 3 trailer, Rebecca isn't in one of them. As Amanda has said herself, she can feel herself rotting.
Sometimes I feel myself rotting, but It feels far away.
I believe the way we find closure is by accepting what others have before. That the only way to free anyone is through finally letting Rebecca rest. Her mind is somehow still communicating through the tapes, but she can't return to her body. And she will have to make the ultimate choice to let herself be destroyed. But it doesn't have to be that way. As much as I think this may be the ending of the story, there is another possibility. There's something really odd about Kate's final message to Riley. First, she says Joanne is dead, despite us learning and seeing that she's very much alive. Well, at least she was when Kate made the recording.
Everyone who's trying to figure it out, they're all dead. Joanne is dead. She just...
It's also really confusing that Kate would create this recording, thinking it would somehow get to us before we watch the tapes, when you have to watch tapes in order to get the recording in the first place. Who put it where it ended up if Kate died while she was recording it? And lastly, Kate tells Riley to destroy the tapes, which also seems to be what Hamlin nearly tricked Joanne into doing, seeing as in the ending where you don't hear Kate's recording, Joanne never commits to not being Hamlin's pawn, and we see her destroy a tape, releasing something that instigates the Amanda demon to attack her.
My brother was one of the kids who disappeared. All I wanted was to find him. And someone came to me. They told me he was trapped and that the only way to free him was to smash the tapes. And I believed them. I brought you here to destroy these. I thought I was doing the right thing. I don't know if you can ever forgive me. But I do know that Hamlin needs to be brought down. I won't be their pawn anymore. I will do whatever I can to...
These details suggest another option. What if Kate was being threatened by Hamlin and forced to record this? It's possible they kidnapped her, and what we hear is them driving at a high speed, either crashing the car on purpose or wrecking on accident. What's important is there may be a way to save Rebecca, and Hamlin is doing everything in their power to make sure that doesn't happen, by convincing people to destroy the tapes. It is clear that Rebecca is trying to get help and gaining a level of free will that Hamlin didn't want. She's definitely still scared of the company, but Riley is giving her confidence and is the only person we've seen actually calm her down.
You knew exactly what I needed to hear. Thank you.
And if you believe Wooly is working for Hamlin, the fact that he also wants the tapes destroyed further suggests that destroying the tapes is not what we're supposed to do. So why would Kate, of all people, tell us to do it? If Kate's final message proves to be sent under false pretenses, her saying Rebecca is gone could be a lie too. One to help convince us that there's no use trying to save anyone, when the truth is there could be hope yet for Rebecca to finally be free. So what do you think? Could Rebecca still be alive, or do you think her fate was sealed long ago? And if you were kidnapped and trapped inside of Amanda the Adventurer, what object would you want to be turned into? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Personally, unfortunately, I'm still leaning towards the direction of Rebecca not being saved. I also want to say that I know Kate's line about her not being ours to save could just be saying that she's been dead or at least unable to return to her body since the beginning of Kate's investigation, but I still wanted to explore other interpretations since we do know she's adopted. I also really do think this game is going to show us more of Sam trying to save his daughter and will reveal what choices led to Kinsdale being a target for this bizarre cult. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to become a part of the nervous system. I upload videos every week and go live on Wednesdays and Fridays, usually, but if you can't wait, there are videos on the screen right now just for you. Okay, bye! Did I finish? Did I finish recording and now we can go outside and play?